This is Tim Narducci, and you're watching Bay Area Rocks. Don't miss it, fuckers.
Hey, what's up? This is David Barrett here, guest hosting for BayAreaRocks.com. And tonight's a special night because we're behind the legendary bar Slim's right here in San Francisco. And it's a special night tonight because right here is Tim Narducci from the group Systematic. And this is their 10-year reunion for that album.
Yes, it'll be 10 years. The album came out in May of 2001.
Yep, somewhere in between we're talking about. So, after that happened, you guys played the Ozfest, and that was a cool opportunity, and let's just talk about how those gigs went, just going over the years on the best and the times of Systematic.
Well, we did Ozfest, which was the all original lineup of Black Sabbath headline that year, and that was what was Slipknot and so many other great bands. Killer Tour. Yeah. We toured with off of that record. We toured with Godsmack and Stained, and Cold. We did a run with them. We did the Disturbed tour, Music as a Weapon, the first installment of that. Did that year too, and some kind of offshoot club tours too.
Right on. So
we were on the road. I believe it was like 11 months for that record, supporting that record, and it was a great run. It was a very, very memorable time.
Cool, man. Well, a lot of people have read about, the connection with Lars and signing you guys to his label and the music company and Elektra. So, what's the connection? And, we're always just trying to cover that Bay Area history, with Lars and getting behind you guys with that,
Well, it was a trip because we had done two demos, one being Demonstration 1 and Demonstration 2, and it was a total of, I think it was around 14 or 15 songs. And somehow those demos ended up at the plant Sausalito, and a good friend of ours, Chris Roberts, he's a kind of a guy on the scene that everybody knows. He was working there at the time and was playing it, and Lars was walking by his office, heard it, poked his head in, said, "Who is that? Let me see the disc." Went in and played it for Bob Rock and was freaking out, and so I get a call from my manager that Chris Roberts had called and said, "Hey, Lars has the disc, he's checking it out." And I'm like, "Oh great, what's he using it for, a coaster or something like that?" I'm like what the fuck's Lars want to do with us? I grew up, I saw Ride the Lightning tour at the Kabuki with Cliff, and so that's all big history, and these guys are like idols to me, and so the long story short, they gave us a call. We got a call on my answering machine, and we set up a showcase, I think like 3 weeks later, at it was a club, Cocadree, and that was still open. Yeah. And Lars came out, saw the band, and the rest was history from there.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, we were very lucky and fortunate to be in the right place at the right time and seize the opportunity.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, cool, man. And then you take it to the second album, Pleasure to Burn, and you got Paul Bostaff in there. That was another legendary player in the scene.
Yes.
And so then out of that, you guys got that Jägermeister tour. Any good memories from that and those years? Yeah.
With Jägermeister tours, there's not a lot of memories because it's a Jägermeister tour.
Okay.
On one of those nights, when they come on your bus and give you, one of the big Jaeger machines, that's not a good sign. But no, those tours were great. We toured with, we did like Stone Sour, I think was a headliner on that one. And yeah, it was very cool. Paul was actually the very first drummer in Systematic when we put the band together in, I want to say 97. And that was when he was in Slayer and then out of Slayer. And we started doing that, and then he went back to Slayer. And we went ahead and recruited Phil. And then that's when the deal happened. And then we had the lineup change for the second record. We had Paul come back, and it was very cool. So I've known Paul for a long time. He's an awesome dude and amazing drummer.
I'm surprised when you were in hiatus with the bass player thing that you didn't call your buddy Cornbread to fill in there for those days. Then.
Well, I didn't really know Cornbread back then. I did not. And had I known Cornbread, he probably would have got the gig. So,
Well, we're just going to be covering all the history here with Tim, man. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but you're really good in the producer's chair, and you know, you did the Forbidden record. We were just interviewing the Ratchet guys. You did a record with them. I may be leaving out a ton of other ones, you know, but what's your experience like just coming in and bands that you may or may not be a fan of, and you're just like putting your stamp on it, your 2 cents or whatnot. So.
A lot of it for me was when we made those records, I had the opportunity to work with, we worked with Peter Collins, who did Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. I think he did Empire too, but, worked with Rush. We had Paul Northfield, who did Moving Pictures. He was our engineer. So just be able to sit and just be a sponge and just like absorb all of the, technology and the way that they go about producing in the art of producing, Pick
up a lot of things.
Yeah, we got to work with Howard Benson on the second record. He did POD and My Chemical Romance, and he's huge, huge producer. But being able to take in the knowledge and just see what a producer's role is, it's really the ultimate thing is getting the best out of the band and the personality out of the band, and not trying to change who they are too much. I think a lot of it right now, and I'll say it, Pro Tools is awesome, but it's also very, very scary, because I think the level of musicianship is dropping because I think people rely on it too much. So I try to stay away from that. I try to get the best performance, and if I need to correct something, I will. But I don't lean too heavily on like gritting out everything and making it perfect, because I would just get a fucking drum machine and program it. What's the point? You're taking all the soul and taking all of the humanity out of the playing, So that's kind of my spin on it, my approach. I like to keep things real and raw. I mean, my favorite producer would probably be Rick Rubin. He's probably the best. There's a lot of great ones out there that still keep it real and keep it honest.
What other ones that I forget that you've to your producing credits have done that maybe people could look up?
Oh boy, I have a list on MySpace, but I know that it doesn't exist anymore, right?
Or nobody's looking at it for that matter.
Nobody's looking at it. I'm working with Mudface right now. I'm working on their record.
Chris is I'll go on record to say probably one of the greatest frontmen I've ever seen in the scene, not only with this band but other bands. I mean, he's a frontman.
Yeah.
Sift. Yeah, I remember
playing with those guys back when we got our start, and working with them right now. I worked with Black Gates, which is Paul Bostaff's new project, with Dan Nelson from ex-singer from Anthrax. And just a lot of stuff here and there. I can't really think off the top of my head right now because it's going a million miles an hour. But there is a list, pretty long, of clients that I've got to work with. It's been great.
Cool, man.
Spiral's definitely evolving into something great. We've got a new record that's almost done, be coming out next year, and
sure. I was just going to bring that up, the new Spiral Arms record, which Tim is very proud of. As far as any of the releases you guys have done, that this one's feeling like is the one close to heart. Right?
Yeah, this one's really magical. The last record was, I'm very proud of that too, and this one, there's something that we captured. I can't wait for people to hear it. It's really cool.
Man. So any release date on that, or are you not sure?
Well, I have a concept idea for the record, and I can't really talk about it too much yet, so nobody steals my idea. And then, but I can tell you it is going to be in March, but we'll be posting stuff up on Facebook once we get a little closer and have some more of our ducks in a row with the release. So.
Cool, man. Well, being a big fan of art, I just have to say I love that the artwork of that album, which just looked like Jesus on a plane with all the war stuff. So, I'd love to hope that you could top that or equal that art, but just let the people know who that artist was, because it's an intense piece, and you probably want to look into this guy.
Oh yeah, Chris Gingrich. So it's gingalley.com. Amazing artist. Hi, Chris, if you're seeing this. Fantastic artist. I'd recommend him to anybody, anytime. He's great.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, any last words, man? We don't want to hold you up. It's your big night tonight. You looking forward to jam with your old bros and tearing it up with all these openers, Ratchet and
yeah. We're super excited. Rehearsals have been fantastic. Looking to have like a really, really good time. Not overthink it and just do what we do, man. Get up there and jam with the homies. So cool.
It's always a pleasure, Tim.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, man. And check out this on BarrettRocks.com. And yeah, just support local music, man. That's what it's all about, to keep it going, man. This is what you need to do, people.
Yes.